cannot afford to miss a single moment of the next hour. Get ready to have your ideas about sexuality, love, and relationships blown wide open. It's time to get educated, entertained, and enlightened, as well as sexually empowered. You have now tuned into the Tantra Love, Sex, and Intimacy Show. Now, here's your host, Tanya Diamond.
Hello, everybody. Well, it is super hot in the studio today. I mean, super hot. And I'd like to give Billy all that credit as the producer, but I think
we both know that's a lie.
we don't think that's a lie. We just know that there's something else that's going on. And what would that be?
I don't know.
It's super hot. I think it's the weather.
I think so.
Blasting into these windows behind us. But, it's always great to start out a Tantra Love, Sex, and Intimacy show with It's Super Hot. And, how hot are you today is what I really want to know. And you could call in and tell me about that. Not in a way that isn't okay on the radio, but, 1-877-230-3062 is our call-in number. And I am awaiting my co-host, Joshua, who is back from his high school reunion, but he's not here yet, so I'm going to go ahead and start. Last week, we were answering questions that men had asked me, emails and questions that men had asked me about sex, love, relationships, and Tantra. And I thought it was quite fun. We had a good time. This week, I've got some questions from the women because they are completely interested in what's going on. And I just got a thumbs up from Billy that Joshua's probably running up the stairs as we speak. And I will go ahead and I have to wait for him because quite frankly this particular question is hilarious. In fact, several of these questions are extremely funny, and I'm not really sure. Thank you for these. If you recognize these questions, thank you for them because they are very funny. On a note that's not a question, I just sent our Conscious Breath V-book. What is a V-book? Conscious Breath V-book to the graphic artist the other day. And a V-book is actually a video-embedded e-book. And just wait till you see what that's all about. It's going to be great because not only do you have an e-book, but then you can scroll down to where the exercises are, and you can click on a link, and it gives you our demonstrations of how to do the exercise. That is the coolest thing now, not just an e-book, but a V-book. What do you think about that, Billy? Have you seen one of those yet?
I really haven't. No, I'm not gonna lie and say that I have. Oh yeah. No, I haven't.
Well, they're not very many of them out there yet.
Oh,
This is like the brand new kind of thing. But how cool is that?
That is pretty cool, though.
Because not just reading, but you actually get to see something too. And Joshua is here.
Hello, everybody.
Oh my gosh, Joshua has braces on.
I have braces on now. I'm going back to my youth.
There you go.
Yeah, he has braces. We'll have to hear about that later. But we're jumping right in now that you're here to the questions. Last week we did questions from the men. This week we have questions from the women.
I love that.
Yeah, so you're going to love these because this I can barely read this first one without. I had to wait
without
for you to,
blushing or without me being here.
Well, no, I had to wait for you to be here because this particular one is. I think it's right up your alley.
Oh, I love it. I'm taking my sunglasses
off.
Are you
ready?
Give me a moment.
All right.
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Here we go. My partner has strong reactions to my body noises. He likes everything else about my body, but I don't know how to handle his reactions in a lighthearted way that won't embarrass him.
He reacts to her body noises.
My partner has strong reactions to my body noises.
Are we talking passing gas or are we talking ecstasy?
I don't know. Now, you see, that should tell us something, because when I read that, I was assuming, those queefs and quuffs and different kind of things that sometimes your body makes. She's saying body noises, so I don't think that's ecstasy.
Body noises, okay.
Yeah, I think ecstasy
so
would be
gurgling, burping.
Yeah, passing gas, whatever, the too much air in the yoni.
We're not talking bed squeaking, we're talking...
No, body noises.
Body noises distract him.
I guess he has a strong reaction.
Has a strong reaction.
I don't know what that reaction is.
Does that make him a candidate for our premature ejaculation book, or does that cause him to slow
See, now
down?
I knew why I waited for you to come into this one, because I just wouldn't have even thought about that.
I know if I'm in an intimate moment and I'm hearing certain noises, it just gets me closer to the, wait a minute.
Really, what noises would those be?
Oh.
Yeah, but that's not a body noise.
That's true. That's an utterance.
Woot, woot, woot. I mean, glick, 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 glick.
Right.
What?
Well, some of those noises are pretty hot too. I mean, maybe I'm strange.
Yes. that's completely true.
Okay, what was the question again?
My partner has strong reactions to my body noises. He likes everything else about my body, but I don't know how to handle his reactions in a lighthearted way that won't embarrass him. And we don't have enough info, really.
Yeah,
because
I would love for that person to give us more detail.
Right.
I mean, call in, because I would love to know specifically, is it a challenge that she's having with a dietary issue? Is it something that he's just hypersensitive to and gets distracted by?
Well, a strong reaction, right? We don't know what a strong... I mean, I'm assuming this is negative, so he's having a negative reaction. But, does he stop then whatever he's doing and run off? Does he? We don't know. So let's okay. Let's give a scenario here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's say that this woman has one of those yonis that tends to hold air a lot, or they're just in that configuration that happens. I can't remember what that's called either, and I should be able to know. What's that?
The noise?
Queefing or quaffing or what? Quiffing. I can't remember. Somebody call and tell us what that
I can't
is.
say exactly the words on air, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, no. I mean, no, but there's an actual word.
Oh, there's an actual clinical.
There is.
Right.
Well, I don't know.
Show you
clinical.
how ignorant I am.
Billy, do you know what word that is? No. Okay, he doesn't either.
He's shaking his head.
All right, no. Okay, so let's say she's having yoni farting noises.
My solution to that, my suggestion for that, if you were asking for it, is he. First off, my question is he, when they're engaged in intercourse, is he pulling almost all the way out or all the way out and then going back in, which leaves the yoni in a prime position to have air brought in.
Right.
So unless that's something that she's totally enamored with, he should not pull out all the way during intercourse, and that would reduce the amount of air that gets compressed within her yoni.
Right. So that could be it. So, she's saying how to handle his reaction in a lighthearted way. If he runs screaming from the room,
personally,
I would yell next. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you yell
I'm with you
about
there.
that?
I mean, if he's she doesn't know how to address it in a lighthearted way
that doesn't embarrass him.
She could just say, "Honey, let's talk about this."
Yeah,
I mean, the very basic, maybe even before you start making love, let's talk about this.
Yeah, what are you freaking out about, dude?
What's causing what?
And if she's passing gas, then I don't know. Then I know she do it all the time, or we need more information.
Are we talking about in restaurants, social settings?
We don't even know that. Okay, you see, if you're going to send us a question, make sure that we have...
I don't mean to make light of a very important question.
All
so
the
caller,
information.
Dear listener who's sending us this question, I would love to have more information.
Yes.
I would love to have you on the phone.
Yes.
So that we can give this the attention that it needs.
Send us more information. I guess if she's belting and farting in public and he's not liking that, then I guess, there's other things to talk about. Right.
Are really going to help.
Number 2, now this one's quite funny too. Just because of how she says it. I don't like sucking the wand.
Okay.
But that's my lover's favorite pleasure. I want to give him that gift, so how do I get over my own discomfort?
I would.
Are you going to tell us how you do it?
Oh, was this question directed towards me, or did you want to? I thought these were all lined up for me.
Billy is like losing it over there.
That was hilarious.
Thank you. Yes, we're pretty funny sometimes.
I mean, I've got an answer, but if you'd
do you
like
have an
to
answer?
start,
I want to hear your
answer.
answer.
Well, first off, I'd look for,
but not based on personal.
Not based on personal. Well, there are moments where I want to do something, and there are moments where I don't.
Okay. Yeah.
So looking at, is it taste? Is it odor? Is it the act itself? Is it a gag reflex?
Right.
What is it that causes her to not feel like that's the most fun thing she wants to do next?
Right.
And so that's
or her own
at
upbringing, psychological, bad experience from the past.
Experience, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Looking at that and freeing it, addressing it either in counseling or with her partner to talk through it and see what is it really about. Someone maybe was really aggressive with her and controlled her head in a very vulnerable moment, and she couldn't breathe, and people have died from that.
Really?
Yes.
Do you have statistics on that?
There was a case where I grew up in Connecticut where I just went for a high school reunion, but this didn't happen at the high school reunion. This is long time ago when I was in high school. There was breaking news where a woman had died because when she and her lover were engaged in fellatio, she suffocated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would he get it stuck in there?
He just wasn't.
He wasn't paying attention.
He was very focused. Let's put it that way. He was very focused.
So he killed her.
And he got off. Let me rephrase that. He
killed her with his wand.
He killed her with his wand.
Oh my goodness.
And that's one of those things where ever since I heard that story, I've been very cautious. Not to over control if that's what my lover likes.
Wow. Okay. So, that's something that everybody.
So maybe she grew up in Connecticut and is familiar with the story and is worried about
dying. Worried about dying.
Yeah,
exactly.
From deep throating, and that's a valid concern. The person receiving, when they get close to that place, if they've got a long fuse as a male, well, they can inflict harm.
Well, that's true, but only if they've got her nose plugged as well. But so, okay, let's see. All right. What do we do? All right. The first thing is let's address a couple of these things. So obviously, if it's like, it's dirty down there type of thing, or somebody feels like that, shower. It's like, honey, would really love to do this for you. Hit the shower. I'll see you when you get back. It's perfectly acceptable to do because if that's his favorite pleasure,
he's will hit the shower
right.
fast.
Billy's got his head nodding. Yeah, he's
done deal.
Done deal. Shower.
Let's go hit the showers real quick.
Go team, go.
Right, exactly. So that's not the problem. And if it's a smell thing, as well, that's going to be straight post shower is going to take care of a lot of that. Maybe the taste is bad, and if he's a smoker, drinker, hardcore meat eating kind of dude,
smoker, drinker. No, not going to work.
It really does make a difference. Here is a big cry for those vegan, vegetarian people. They taste and smell better.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you that. I've got a good sampling.
Now, is this a husband or a boyfriend?
I don't know. It just says lover.
Okay.
So that could be, that could be it. If he's smoking, drinking, doing all of that kind of stuff, eating lots of trash food, then may not taste as good. So that taste issue might be there. In which case, I don't know. I'm not a big condom person on that.
They don't taste much better.
Yeah, well, they might, the mint flavored ones.
Right.
So that's something to consider. If it's that
those don't taste any better.
Have you tasted those?
I have.
Oh,
I was a peer educator in college, and one of the tasks assigned, or that my girlfriend and I actually took on ourselves, was to sample all the flavored condoms. And hey, I'm a modern man. I want to know that it tastes good enough to wear.
Excellent.
And the conclusion was
no. Right. Well, okay.
Unless they've changed the formula today.
Maybe so. So, it's worth that kind of a try. And if, let's say, it's maybe the just not knowing how to do it well, so maybe she's uncomfortable in being able to do it in a way that feels good. Or maybe she has that erroneous belief, like so many women do, that if she doesn't take it all the way down, that she's not doing it right.
Oh, there's a lot of beautiful technique that doesn't involve taking it all the way down.
There is. There are?
Oh, yeah.
There are, or is?
Yes.
There is, both.
I'll take it either way.
Excellent. And I'll throw in my own little, because people just so much love some of my personal stories, I'm sure, out there, that I went to a class once, kind of a really, I can't actually use the name of the class on the air. That'll give you some, but it was about oral sex, and this was for him. And the woman that taught the class she's pretty out there. I'm a pretty conservative sex teacher compared to her, and she had taken her shirt off at one point in the class, and everything. I'm just like, wow, just grab some guys to come on up here and drop your pants. And, she didn't do this on him.
Model?
But she was talking. I know. I was like, wow. Well, then she had us all, putting our mouth or our throats in the right position for deep throating. And, it's not one of my fortes, really. I'm going to say that on the air. Sorry to dash all those fantasies out there of all those men, but not
your thing.
I have a pretty small mouth, but so I'm sitting there, and she comes around, and she's looking down everybody's throats and saying, okay, yeah, know this. She walks over, looks down my throat, and yells, "Oh my God! Everybody, come over here!" And I'm like, "Oh, what? What?" And everybody runs over, and she says, "Now look down here. This is exactly how you want your."
Right. If you can get your throat to do this,
right, just like that, that's perfect. I'm like, wow, okay, but. Even with that, no.
Right.
So there are so many, and I don't think I haven't had a lot of complaints, because you know what? Men just really aren't going to, if they're smart, really complain if you are honoring their wand.
Constructive criticism?
Yeah, like the teeth, or I like it softer or harder, or more this or more that, but they're not going to say, wow, you're just doing that horribly.
Right. They need to learn not to say that if they are.
Yeah, true. I guess if a mess
for a lot of women, okay, it's got to be in my mouth. What do I do now? This isn't working for me. But to realize that there's so much that can be done using the lips, using saliva, using the hands.
Right.
So that if the head is in the mouth, but you've got hands on the wand, so that it's like it's deep,
Right.
that's a whole nother reality. You know,
Right.
if that frees up the experience for both the woman and the man to experience that much fun.
In this, I would say, one, if the man has a preconceived porn notion of how it's supposed to be,
Right.
and she's not being able to do that, then he needs to get over himself.
Right.
Because otherwise she's just not going to do it at all.
Right.
Which is worse. And they should experiment and play around a little bit and make it a lot less of a big deal. Make it more fun. And the other thing is, maybe she's uncomfortable. You know, a lot of women feel like they have to put their necks and bodies in weird contorted positions. You know, you've got to really, sex is one of those things where I know it sounds romantic, that it's all spontaneous and it just happens, but you know, you get cramps, you get uncomfortable, things happen. Use your pillows. A bed, the reason all those pillows should be in a bed isn't for the women to make her bedroom all look pretty. They should be utility pillows.
You mean all these don't touch these bed pillows are for sex?
They should be, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think some of those don't touch those bed pillows are, but they should be, because you need,
it's
you know,
tough
you need
to wash them.
under the hips, you know, under the leg, over here, under the back, you know. We need to be a lot more creative. We need pillows in the bedroom if we're going to have a good time, and get comfortable. Actually find a position, whether maybe you're sitting down and he's standing in front of you, or he's got his feet towards, or his head towards your feet, or something like that. Maybe he's standing on his hands. I don't know. Try different things to see how that works.
Unless you have a chiropractor as a neighbor, in which case, you know, have at it and then just knock on the door at midnight.
Right. And yeah, what happened? Okay, I think we cover all that, because it could have been a, you know, and if it's, okay, so let's say it's a, you know, I gag, well, then don't go as far.
Right.
That's what I have to
Find
say about that.
another way to make it feel exceptional without deep throating.
And you can also, maybe she just gags at the thought of it, you know, in the beginning. There's breathing techniques that will help with that.
Okay.
And if you're breathing, because a lot of times you'll start to hold your breath, which can make your abdomen tight, and that can cause a heaving reaction.
Right.
So that's the other thing. Maybe it's hair.
Right.
You know, maybe she's getting a lot of hair in her mouth.
Right, hair in her mouth.
What do you do about that?
Well, what do I do about that?
It's funny I should ask you that.
Funny you should ask me. Well, guys, most of them I think have an aversion to waxing, and I think that
we're talking about men here.
That would be if a guy had the promise of having more service on his wand, would he consider waxing the wand? I'm not saying everything. I'm just saying waxing the wand, and I think that's a phenomenal solution. Personally, I do, and first time any waxing is uncomfortable, and from there on out it gets easier, and it's worthwhile. You know,
so you could call Josh if you're a man wondering about that. You could email Josh
to wax the wand and the jewels.
Oh, and the jewels. He's waxing the jewels too. Now Billy's eyebrows just went up. I know
that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah,
he
was
Josh.
Okay with the wand, but
that
he was
a whole different ballgame.
Seems like it would hurt more. I don't know, but
if someone knows how to work with the skin so that the right tension, it still does hurt, especially the first time, and it can be worked through. And it's easier after that. If nothing else, at least the wand.
And how do you find the women feel about that?
I've had good reviews so far.
Excellent. Okay. There
Actually, some eyebrows raised and, let me check that out kind of reactions.
There you go. So that can be something to do as far as if that's the problem, and I'm trying to sleuth that. If it's just if it is a mental issue, that is something that we also with Learning Tantra work with. If that's something you really want to get over and figure out, you can drop us an email, and we'll see what we can do, because you can get over those things if you would desire. And this could be turned around for men too, because there's men out there that are really squeamish about the yoni, and so same things we've been talking about here. Diet, bath, all of those type of things.
And more information would be great, so we know specifically what
the discomfort
her challenge is that she's, and is she really wanting to overcome it, or is it a misconception that he has of how
she says I want to give him that gift. So yeah. All right. So here's why do my nipples not get hard when I'm aroused, and how can I harden my nipples in a pleasurable way? Interesting.
Is this from a male or female?
This is from a female. These are all women's questions today. Why do my nipples not get hard when I'm aroused? Well, there is a fallacy that every time a woman's aroused, her nipples are hard. I mean, nipples get hard.
Nipples come and go.
Yeah, and it really doesn't always have to do with arousal. I mean, I can tell you that for a fact, that though I am aroused most of the time, I don't think that my nipples are a good indication of when it's actually occurring and when it's not.
Question I have as a male lover is when the nipples aren't hard, is it still pleasurable to touch them?
Yes.
So to lick, suckle, touch, cup
all
with the hands, all of that still is delightful and delicious. It's still affecting your body.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you like being touched when you're not hard?
Yes.
Okay, well. Is it all still delightful to cup, suckle, squeeze?
It's wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. So
I could expand on that, but you ask the question
might,
if you want.
Right, exactly. You might expand on that. So there it is. No, it's perfectly fine. And I don't know why your nipples don't get hard when you're aroused. Some women's just don't. And how can I harden them in a pleasureful way? Well, that depends on what you define as pleasure. I would have to know, do they ever get hard? Does cold harden them? Grab some ice cubes and have him put them in his mouth.
One of the things that I found is really important is lubricant. Whether it's a massage oil, a lotion, something that will last and not just dry up, because it could be painful. If someone's just
Skin
playing
dragging.
with the nipples, skin dragging, twisting, versus however you like your nipples played with, having some lotion or oil on them that stays. So I personally prefer oils because they stay much longer and better. And then it allows for the tissue to feel wet and to be caressed and glide.
We like the glide.
Glide is important.
The glide is good.
As much as that dry, tickly contact is important, for the long run, you want to go with some lubricant for the nipples. Yeah,
and so hardening nipples, I don't know. You just have to experiment. Do you like soft touch, hard touch, cold, nipple clamps? Get out the clothespins, I guess. I don't know. Suction cups. I don't know. I don't think... if you're enjoying yourself and enjoying having your breast touch, I don't think your nipples have to be hard or not. And I know that men have this thing about making things hard. So we do? I know, it's weird, isn't it? So there might be some pressure from her lover or men she's been with in the past that, seem like a big deal. Right. Like her nipples aren't hard, so maybe they're ignoring her breasts altogether, thinking she's not into it because the nipples aren't getting hard.
Got a solution for that.
What's that?
Take my hand. Put it on the breast.
He wants you to take his hand and put it on your breast.
Take my hand and show me what you want me to do.
There you go.
If you're in that moment and you're saying to yourself silently, I wish he would just put his hand on my breast while he's doing that.
Yes.
Either start doing it on yourself, which is oh so sweet to watch a woman do something for herself, or take my hand and place it where you want it and move it how you want it. And then step back and let me play. And if I do something that's off track, bring your hand back, and I want to learn.
I think most men feel that way. Do you think that, Billy?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, you want to learn?
Yeah, because everybody, I think, wants to pleasure their mate. For the most part, that's why you're there. Right. So, everybody wants to. And if there is something that I can do to make you feel that much better, absolutely. I want to learn that. I want to do that.
All about learning.
There you go. So just take charge, ladies. Okay, I don't really feel sexual in my body. I feel like I should be more intimate with myself, but I don't know where to start. This is a really, really big question. So what I think we're going to do is I think we are going to go ahead and take our break. While you can think about that question, I don't really feel sexual in my body, and I feel like I should be more intimate with myself. And where do we start? Where we start is right after this break, answering that question. And we'll be back.
Is your sex life non-existent? Do sexual dysfunctions leave you soft? Is internet porn getting more than you are? Or are you paying more attention to porn than your partner? Have you tried talk therapy and it got you nowhere? You are not alone. You can be freed from sexual shame, guilt, and dissatisfaction. A visit to the Tantra teacher is in order. Call now and mention you heard the Tantra teacher on the radio and get a very special offer. Start Stop waiting for a miracle and call right now. 206-276-2735. Phone consultations or in person will get you the information you need to be successful in your love life. But you have to call now. 206-276-2735. Stop making excuses. Call the Tantra teacher. 206-276-2735.
Are you one of the 40 million sexless couples in the U.S.? Are you wondering why having sex leaves you feeling lonely? Are you suffering from the myths of sexual dysfunction? Do you know in your heart that there has to be more than what you're currently getting out of making love? To rid yourself of sexual ignorance, get more out of your lovemaking, and find out more about spiritual sexual connection, then you need to check out www.thetantrateacher.com to receive your free copy of the ebook called Secrets of the Tantra Teacher. Don't suffer another minute without the sexual loving and ecstatic bliss you were born to receive. Get to www.thetantrateacher.com right now. That's www.thetantrateacher.com.
Hello, everybody. We are back from our break. We're answering questions today, women's questions about sex, relationship, tantra, and love. And we left off with a question that was, I don't really feel sexual in my body. I feel like I should be more intimate with myself, but I don't know where to start. Now, let me say that question right there is a not unfamiliar question to a lot of women.
Really?
Yeah. This is one of those questions that very much a lot of women are going to resonate with. And so much that, of course, we've started in the pharmaceutical industry with all sorts of, women's libido enhancement type of things.
Really? Yoni creams and things like that?
Yeah, creams and potions and pills and all sorts of things that are supposed to bring us alive. I work with more women than I'd really. I mean, this is going to come out wrong. I work with more women than I really want to with this, and that's not because I don't want to work with women with this. Mm-hmm. It's just that means there's a lot of women out there.
It's pervasive. It's a significant issue,
and that's making me really sad.
Right.
Now, part of this is social and parental societal conditioning. Mm-hmm. If a woman is, in their teens, almost all women are feeling sexual. Mm-hmm. If you can remember back to your teens and you had no hormone, no surge, no interest at all, well, then that might be a hormonal issue. That might be something worth looking into, or a sexual abuse, or a number, society, once again, your programming was so hard. So look at how you learned about sex, first of all. What happened, what were you told, and you have a lot of shame and guilt surrounding your body and sexuality. And if you've gone a long time without the ability to create orgasm with yourself, then it might be that you're feeling inadequate and all sorts of other things. So what I keep coming back to here is emotions, mental status. Most women don't feel sexual in their body because they're not connected to their body and they aren't connected to their sexual feelings. Mm-hmm. They're kind of checked out. Yeah, I know that's weird for men to think about, isn't it?
We don't really have much of a choice.
Well, actually, women don't really have much of a choice either. But
I could see that.
But they do anyway. I mean, our programming, our conditioning is so strong that if it's really negative, we'll just shut it all down.
If it's clearly an abuse or family, if it was looked down upon, or anything sexual was banished from all social norms in the family, I could see how that a woman would shut it down from a very early age, and not even know the inroads to find her own sexuality.
Right. So, once again, not a lot of information in this question, and it's a big, big question. I feel like I should be more intimate with myself, but I don't know where to start. Well, that starts with self-pleasuring, and I will be putting out, I have the men's self-pleasuring, guided self-pleasuring MP3 available right now, and I will be, by the end of this month, having the women's available.
Excellent.
So I would suggest that it's a guided way, it's a guided exercise in becoming more intimate with yourself and learning about self-pleasure in the body. Mm-hmm. And I think you would enjoy it very much. Well, I know you would enjoy it very much, but
probably won't be allowed in the house the night that product's created.
That's completely correct.
Darn it.
I thought about having a man lead it, and I don't know. Maybe we should get some input.
I think it should be my voice. I mean,
you think it should be your voice?
I'm pretty hot.
Yeah?
I've been told.
Okay. Well, we'll have to talk about that. Maybe we'll have two. We'll have a man's voice leading or a woman's voice leading.
That could be good, because
give them a choice.
What a woman needs to hear in her mind from a woman's voice about allowing and about what she wants to know, feel, experience, believe about her own body, and then the things that a woman needs to hear from a male voice.
Yeah, I think we'll do both. I think that's brilliant.
Nice.
Thank you. But I don't know if I'll use you.
Oh, please use me.
He likes to be used.
I do.
I would say the best place to start is if you have sexual abuse or really, really hard programming, you need to come see us, and we'll help you deal with that. If this is just I'm so busy all the time, and I just never think about sex, and I don't pleasure myself very often, and we do believe there's a difference between masturbation and self-pleasuring. Masturbation is what I term as sexual tension release, and that's where you get in there, 2 minutes later you get off, you're done, and you're using it as a medication, a sleep aid, or just a tension reliever or something like that.
What if it's about an hour and a half later, 6th round, going on 7, each one takes longer, pulling out the power tools? Is that still tension release?
Wow. Well, it might be. It depends why you're doing it.
I knew someone like that once.
Did you? Yeah. Interesting. And if a woman or a man?
It was a woman.
Wow. Interesting. Well, I would have to ask her what she was up. That might have just been having a great time.
I would venture to say it was medicating.
Yeah. So a lot of us use masturbation as a medication tool, a way to get to sleep, a way to relieve some tension, a way to get rid of quote-unquote sexual frustration. And really, you're missing a whole lot there. There's a whole lot that's missing. Self-pleasuring is really about pleasuring the whole self without the goal of getting off. Though getting off may happen, it's not the goal.
Mm-hmm.
And what that does is it starts to really bring you into your body. It creates a feeling of affinity with your body, a pleasure with your body, learning that your whole body is capable of intense pleasure, and it brings more sexual arousal. It brings the energy up, and not just getting rid of it.
Right.
Because if we get horny, quote unquote, I don't even use that really word. If we get turned on and horny, and we feel like we have to get rid of that feeling, well, what is that telling your body all the time? I've got to get rid of that feeling of feeling aroused. We could be programming arousal right out of ourselves.
It's critical to feel your body, feeling good.
Yes.
Your hands are enjoying what they're feeling. Your body's enjoying the feeling of your own hands.
Exactly. We should be loving ourselves. That's a really big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that will help. We do have a prescription formula to follow. We do have a prescribed formula of following. What am I saying, Josh?
There's a pattern.
Thank you.
That we teach people to be able to enjoy the body.
Thank God
to
he's
be able
here.
to bring the energy together, to bring it up and cultivate it, to calm it down.
Yes, so we can teach you that. If I could speak a sentence, I could teach you that as well. I had some genetic counseling done today, so I'm a little bit thrown.
Okay.
We have a strong history of ovarian cancer and breast cancer in my family, and so I got to go talk to a genetic counselor today about and have blood taken so that they're going to find out if I have certain markers or not.
Right.
That if so, I may be going in for some surgery.
Ooh.
Anyway, yeah, so it has me a little bit thinking about some things other than this. Sorry about that, guys. All right, relationships. As a woman, how do I ensure that the man is keeping just the right amount of tension, sexual tension?
How do I ensure that the man's keeping enough sexual tension? Right,
because we all know that keeping sexual tension is paramount to keeping passion going.
I guess I have to separate. Is this with, can I assume that this man or this relationship has some tantric knowledge, or is this that he becomes disinterested and only really becomes interested when he's horny and ready to jump into bed?
We don't know. It says the good kind of tension.
Good kind of tension. So that romantic kind of touching each other through the house, calling each other through the day.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Tension?
Yep. You can see now if you have a question, you can be really detailed with it. It helps us get your exact
The more details,
question.
the better. What's your situation?
Right. So how does she, as a woman, ensure the man is keeping the right amount of tension? Now, that's interesting. I would say, instead of how do you ensure that he's keeping the right amount of tension, how do you ensure that you are? I would turn that around. You cannot ensure that he is keeping the right amount of tension. That's his job.
Mm-hmm.
You can, however, ensure that you are responding in the way that allows
so
him.
That he knows, oh, when I touch her like this, she likes it. So if I touch someone on the back of the neck and say hello, she should enjoy that.
Right.
Move her body to let me know, oh, touching you on the back of the neck does something for you.
And it might also be that kind of tension that I described when you're dating or you're first starting out, and you've got that fishing line where it's like she might be talking about, does she call him right away when he calls her?
Ooh, right.
Does she text him every time he texts? Is she readily responsive, or is she holding back just a little bit? What do you guys think? I'm going to ask Billy this as he took office. Billy, what do you think? Should a woman? Do you want a woman that's really responsive when you start dating her, or do you want a woman that like plays a little bit hard to get? Not plays, but isn't just really right there. Do you like the chase?
There's always a little bit about the chase. I mean, it's always fun, and I think that's part of what makes new relationships so much fun, because it is a new chase. You don't know this compared to the last girlfriend, or 2 girlfriends past. Maybe I'm going to learn something new. Maybe she's going to do something that's really going to make me go, oh my God, I love this girl.
Right. So is it better if she doesn't quite respond right away, if you're left wondering?
Not quite right away, but I still want some kind of response.
Right, like how long? What's the magic number? If she doesn't respond for 24 hours, do you feel like she doesn't care?
I don't think 24 hours gives enough.
If she doesn't respond in a week?
I think it has, and that's where the line is. I don't know where that line,
tension line
It depends on where the relationship is at, even if it's a new beginning. If it's, does this person like me type of, if you're already talking about tension, sexual tension, and arousal, that you're interested in communicating with each other, it depends. Is it a conversation? If we've had some text messages back and forth, and then all of a sudden I don't get a response from the last text message, like, hello, that person's starting to get off my list. Whereas if it's a, hey, how you doing today? Click, tick, tick, tick. Let me know that you're interested in me saying hello. If we're already having overtures and looking forward to seeing you again, stuff like that, then within the day, if she's interested, I'd like to know within the day.
So if you're interested in Josh, make sure if he texts you text him back within 24 hours. Billy, you can make him wait a little longer.
48.72
48.72. He's good.
Don't make it too long though.
Yeah, if I had a date with someone, it's like, hey, had a good time. Looking forward to getting together again.
Oh, yeah.
If there's, oh, sorry, I was busy, I didn't have a chance to get back to you, it's like, okay.
Nobody's ever that busy.
Just tell me whether or not you had a good time. And, yeah, I'm glad you had a good time, Josh. I didn't. I want it straight.
All right, so tension. As a woman, I say you're not to ensure the man keeps the right amount of tension. He is. But as a woman, allowing a man to, or helping him keep sexual tension is important. And by that means you don't really throw yourself right at him. You actually let him have a little bit of that chase and let him do his man thing. I think helping a man, there's helping a man be successful in a relationship is very important. Helping a man have the relationship is a little bit different. What do I mean by that? Ooh. If he can't bring the relationship and you have to teach him and help him how to have the relationship, I don't know about that.
Right.
Helping him be successful within the relationship you're having just based on your own quirks or things, that's a different thing. And I think women mess this up all the time.
Right. Leave him hanging so he has to guess. And
no, the opposite. Have the relationship for him.
Oh, right. Yeah, making it work.
Right. Making the relationship happen even though there isn't a relationship there.
Right. Yeah, no. You can't make a cake without the eggs, you know what I mean?
Well, we're thinking. Have you ever had that happen, Billy?
Honestly, you just described my first relationship.
Really? So what was that? Well,
the thing is, it's the first one that, oh my gosh, it's just my first love, and then I'm sitting in this situation that I think I know what I'm doing, and I think that I'm doing all these right things, but when I look back, all I did was just give everything to her, gave her all the power. What do you want me to do? When can I do it? What should I do here?
Right.
And I wouldn't want to be in a relationship like that. I didn't realize it at the time that that's what I was doing, but,
right.
You you got to be in control of something, and if you're giving away your relationship, I mean,
right.
What do you really have?
You don't. And that's one thing. Now, there's another one, and that's the woman, and you go out with the woman and you kiss her once, and the next thing you know, her toothbrush is living at your house.
Right.
Or you've had sex with her once, and the next thing you're having a relationship, and you're not really sure how in the world you got into that position.
Mm-hmm.
But she's bound and determined she's having a relationship, and that's always interesting. And men usually, most men don't want to be jerks, and so they don't really say, wow, why is your toothbrush in my house? And the next thing they know, they're living together.
Right.
It's kind of an interesting thing. These things happen. So, we've got to be careful on all these fronts. Let's see. I'm going to answer how soon is too soon to transition from friends to lover? That's making an assumption you're friends before...
Is that like we were friends and I was attracted to them, or is that a dating became?
I don't know.
I'm gonna add something to this question. I have a friend that I'm attracted to, and how do I transition that friendship into a lover relationship?
Right. Well, there's a bunch of stuff here. Number one is that, some people believe you should be friends before you're lovers. And you got the whole seduction community out there yelling, never be her friend or you'll never be her lover.
Right.
Interesting to contemplate. Maybe there's the intent to become lover. You're interested in each other as lovers, but you're waiting to seal the deal, so to speak.
So develop a friendship. And when do you know when to...
Right. I usually have a 3-month rule.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3-month rule is basically, you start dating, you're interested in each other, you want to become lovers. You talk about that. But to me, I also want to understand their character, and I want to understand what they're all about before I jump into intimacy with them. Because once I'm involved in intimacy, then for some reason, my brain cells go out the window.
Gotcha.
And so they do. My brain cells just go right out the window, and I'm not really capable of ascertaining whether I actually like them or not. All I know is that my hormones are engaged, and I seem to be having a good time.
Right. So it's a replacement for masturbation with a warm hug.
Maybe so. I think it's just that I'm one of those women that if I'm involved physically, I just need to wait. I just need to make sure that this is somebody that I actually want to be involved with first. And I bet there's a lot of women out there, maybe a lot of men out there like that. But I think that people, jumping into bed with somebody and making them lovers right away, it doesn't always work out well.
Mm-hmm.
Because once your hormones are engaged, and women use sex to get love, and men always want to make sure the sex is good before they love.
Right.
That's the quandary.
And also knowing what the intrigue and interest is. It's such for me, a very complex dynamic of, okay, we're friends. If I'm attracted to her, are we courting each other? Are we just friends? Or what? And if we're just friends and we haven't been introduced to each other with the context of we might be lovers, then this is just one of my friends. I'm off dating other people, and I don't even know that she wants to escalate this to something else. So there's that place of, is the man supposed to step up and say, I like you and I want to be more than just friends? That's vulnerable and risks losing the friendship. And likewise, is it the woman's place to say, I'm interested in more and I want to get to know you over a 3-month period? Do we throw it on the table that clear
I think
and obvious?
so. I think so. I mean, that's my MO. My really good friend Craig, he and I were friends to begin with. We've got some great chemistry, but I was involved with somebody. When I became uninvolved, I kind of threw it out there and said, well, Craig, so what do you think? Are we going to make anything out of this?
Mm-hmm.
And we decided no. He decided no.
Okay.
I'll say it. And and we're still super great friends.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why people think that making your intention ruins a friendship.
Right.
I mean, that's just if people say, oh, I'm just too uncomfortable to think. I like being attracted to my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I have lots of men around me that are friends that I have chemistry with, and I like it a lot like that.
Right.
So I think people are just, maybe whether they're afraid.
I think a lot of people have a challenge being attracted to someone and not having sex with them.
Wow. I'd be having a whole lot of sex with a whole lot of people.
You would be.
I'm glad I don't have that challenge.
Right.
I think it's not really that. I think people don't know what to do when they're sexually aroused by somebody. Mm-hmm. They actually feel like it's the other person's responsibility.
Right.
You make me horny, therefore I need to make a move on you or do something like that. Now, I think it's glorious. I just like to sit in it.
Yeah. So the question here from the listener, if there's a friendship that she wants to transition into a relationship, then it's okay
clear from the beginning
to let him know either from the beginning, I find you attractive. I want to develop a friendship that might become more.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I want to keep you as a friend. Can you handle that?
Yeah.
Or if it's already a friendship, to say, you know what, I'm really digging you, and I want to give this some time. Perhaps I'd like to be in a relationship with you as we get to know each other more. So it's important for the woman to let the man know that.
I believe so. I believe that's a good one. Hey, how about a Tantra one?
Ooh.
How do we talk about Tantra without making it sound like a cultish thing?
How do we talk about Tantra without making it sound like a cult-ish thing?
A cultish
thing.
People out there some people do believe that Tantra is cultish. And depending on who you're hanging out with and talking about Tantra, some people have made some Tantra things cultish.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like the whole Caucasians all sitting around in saris with bindis and incense.
That sounds kind of cultish to me.
Where we all go to the other side to practice Tantra. You don't actually need to wear a bindi to practice Tantra.
What exactly is a bindi?
A bindi is one of those things you put on your forehead to signify the third eye. You don't have to change your name.
Okay.
To something Indian.
Okay.
Or goddess-like.
Right.
Or godlike.
Right.
You don't have to take any vows of anything, really. And I think what happens is that people, and I know where this question is coming from because the people in my group and on our team, right, have families that some of them are a little bit concerned.
Right.
Like what is this thing you're doing? What is this thing that all of a sudden you're talking about all the time? And I would say this. A cult is something that seeks to isolate you from people your friends and your family, the non-believers.
Ah.
If you're worried about a cult, people in cults, that's what happens. They isolate you. They tell you that people outside of the cult, the order, whatever it is, don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
In this instance, I would say that if you're worried about somebody being in a Tantra cult, then you should go visit the Tantra place and see how culty it is.
Right.
But I wonder, so Billy, the stuff we've been talking about, does it sound like a cult?
No, I don't think so. I've never really thought of Tantra as a cult, though.
Okay.
I mean, I've
just a sex technique?
Exactly. Honestly,
right.
I've always been very, I guess, dumb about the whole subject, to be blunt about it. I haven't really known it's been something that's been discussed, but I didn't really know anything. So to kind of label it, it kind of, you don't really know anything, so how are you supposed to label something?
I think that a lot of what happens is that there are people that are practicing tantric techniques out there that are then creating communities around it, and if they're excluding other people, then it's going to take on that kind of cult type of experience. But I think talking about Tantra is just talking about love, connection, and that type of thing. And so I think it just raises some bells for some people because they think of religion.
Again, it's a context thing for me. We can look at some of the history if we think about temples, priests and priestesses sitting together, large groups, like martial arts, temples, ashrams, monasteries, what have you. It's a place of learning. In the modern day setting, if we talk about how I'm learning how to share with other people, how to deepen their relationships, how to broaden their experience in sexuality so that they can experience more of their own life force, they can experience more ecstasy, they can have a better intimate relationship and better health, better longevity, better life, that they can create what they want in their life through knowing more about tantric techniques. That usually puts people at ease. When I talk about, I was just traveling on the East Coast, and, it's so fun to be able to say, oh, what do you do? Well, I teach Tantra. I'm with a group. I'm on this wonderful radio show that talks about Tantra, love, intimacy, and relationship. And I get to help people get the most out of their life. Well, they don't think that I'm part of a cult. I'm not trying to reel them into anything or buy some books. I'm actually...
We're just selling CDs and MP3s.
Ooh. Yeah. It's how to be empowered in your own life. I don't want them to feel like they can't live without me. I actually want their life to be thoroughly fulfilling without needing to have me in their life.
Yeah. Well, I will just say that Tantra is not a cult, at least the way we're practicing it. We've got 5 minutes left on the show. And let's see, what do I want to... We've got a whole bunch of things here. Does everybody have the capacity to be tantric even if they don't want all the tools? That word just gets tantric, and tantra gets bannered about so much. Very few people in the West or in the world will probably ever really, really learn Tantra. Mm-hmm. Being tantric, probably easier.
Will I ever be tantric without having all the tools?
Probably not.
It's a loaded question.
Yeah, well, it's a really hard one to answer, so I guess I'm going to have to save it.
I'm sitting here just touching the table because it feels good to my hand. Is that tantric? Is that a tool? Is just because I'm a tactile person? And
if that's all you had, no, then you wouldn't be tantric.
Okay.
It does take a lot more than just that.
So if all I wanted to do was touch tables and I never wanted sex.
No. We'd have little... You could be tantric without ever having sex.
Ah.
Yeah, because there is one school of Tantra that studies abstinence and celibacy. So there you go. Tantra is not just about sex. I did want to... there was something brilliant I wanted to say, and now I've completely forgotten it. Oh, no. What will I do? We have 5 minutes to go, and I'm like, what was it that I was thinking about there?
Did you think about it before I was touching the table?
Did
I distract you with my...
That might have happened.
Table massage?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what love is. How can I tell my partner what I want? These are some complex questions. What's the difference between sexual love and platonic love? How much can you love until you burst?
Platonic love usually does not involve sex.
Actually, there's no such difference. Platonic love and all loves are the same.
Okay. It's just a matter of what things you do and don't touch.
Exactly, which has nothing to do with the love. It has to do with the intent. How interesting is that?
Excellent.
Yes. I've got 3 minutes left. Man, I wish I could remember what I was going to say.
20 questions.
I know.
Did it sound like...
was it... I think the heat is frying my brain in here that I can't actually remember that. Billy's going, yes, that's true.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah. Wow, I got in here and all of a sudden I can't think. Okay, well, Josh, say something witty and entertaining for the next few minutes.
Witty and entertaining for the next few minutes.
How do you like to put him on the spot like that? Nice going.
I so enjoyed going to my high school reunion this past week, and to see people, most of them that I haven't seen in 19 years, and to be able to tell them what's going on in my life, to tell them I'm excited, I am breathing, I'm smiling, and some people, they got a little bit bigger, they got a little bit grayer, they're a little bit depressed in their life in general, and I'm running in because I breathe, because I'm learning about Tantra. I get to say, what are you doing with your life, Josh? I am learning about Tantra. Oh, what's that? It's how to live your life in excellence and mastery, and how to have the best sex you ever had.
Right, and I just remembered what it was I was going to say.
Go for it.
Team Tantra, we're pretty well built. We've got some amazing people on our team, and the team's been rearranging and shuffling and changing around as people bring it or don't bring it, and we move along. We are looking for a marketing and promotions person. We are. And if you're interested in being part of our team, being on the inner circle and getting an $18,000 a year education about Tantra and business mastery and life mastery and all that stuff and all sorts of other things, you should drop us an email. So if you're out there listening thinking, oh, wow, yeah, we are in Seattle. Chances are you should be in Seattle.
That would help.
You're amazingly
you've got
good
an
at
angle.
Teleporting, or you're so incredible that we just have to have you no matter where you are, because we do have Skype and we do have some technical expertise. So something to throw out there of what we're looking at. Get ready to look at the schedule on learningtantra.com under workshops, because there's some big workshops coming up. And look forward to all these products that we're launching. The Conscious Breath V-Book. A V-Book.
The
Video
V-Book.
embedded e-book. We've got 1 minute to go. And I have to, as usual, thank all the amazing people out there that make me happy to be on the radio because of all those great phone calls and emails we get saying, thank you, I learned so much, this is really great, having a good time. We love those. Do we love those?
I love them.
Yeah. Josh wishes more women would call him up and tell him how sexy his voice is.
Or give me a direct question that I can just answer voice to voice, person to person.
Yeah.
I love the dialogue.
Yes, he does love the dialogue. And I believe that we are just about done. Sorry for my brain function, people. You know, it's all Tantra. We love you, and we'll
you don't always have to be up.
No,
Remember that.
No, we don't. We love you, and you catch you all next week. Have a great one. Bye.
You have been listening to the Tantra Love, Sex, and Intimacy Show with your host, Tanya Diamond. Visit our website at www.tanyadiamond.com. That's TANJA for more information on workshops and classes.